Joining us right now in the Morning Hustle is a man who's doing some super big things out there in the field. He's one of the illest hip-hop artists, man, who keeps knocking down wall after wall after wall, and he about to set us free. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise one time for Lecrae!
Let's go, baby.
What's up?
Yeah.
Yo, man, big ups to you, my man. And like the crazy thing, you was just in the news. We was talking about you on the show last week, man, about the initiative you had going on. You was bringing the public hand washing situation out to the city of Atlanta, and I heard you plan on expanding that.
Yeah, man, I'm honored. I'm really honored to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing for me to be able just to be in a position that I'm in. And I was talking to my man Terrence Lester, and who runs Love Beyond Walls, and after I was thinking about my life and thinking about like, man, what do I got going on? I realized like, yo, I'm good, but how are people living on the streets doing? So I reached out to my man Terrence, and he told me like he wanted to get, you know, um, sanitization stations, hand washing stations for folks out there on the street. And man, that's near and dear to my heart. My pops is out there, and by choice. You know, I didn't gave my opportunity, but by choice. Uh, but yeah, man. So we partnered up together to put hand washing stations all around the city, man, and it's spreading around the country now.
That's good.
And that's so important, man, because like especially with this initiative, they're like, "Yo, you gotta wash your hands again, and wash your hands some more." Hold on one second, you got audio feed into us. One
I'm
second.
like, do we start dancing? Or...
He had to run to the other studio. 1 second.
Go ahead. Well, now this is
yeah.
the portion
There we
where
go.
we want to
Party
see your
break.
moves.
Yeah.
So,
Party.
the music is feeding into our ears. Let's ratchet it up. All right,
So yeah,
cool.
we just wanted to see your moves at this part of the interview. So can we just see?
Yeah, so the Love Sing Sing campaign, I imagine, no campaign can just run on an empty tank. If people want to help contribute to that, to help out, what can they do?
Man, right now the best thing to do is go to lovebeyondwalls.org. It's a campaign that has been benefiting people around the country. At the same time, because of the manufacturers can't create the sinks fast enough. So right now, man, we're just hoping for anybody who has any kind of other resources, that sanitization kits. Some people have been sending like wet wipes and clean wipes and stuff like that. Like, all of those particular things going to Love Beyond Walls helps out, man, just to help folks stay sanitized in this season.
Great. Question. Now, with you going out there on the streets and actually talking to these people and seeing where they're actually living and going through this, how are they social distancing? How does it actually play out for them on the street? Was there any insight on how they're actually to maintain these boundaries, considering they don't really have a specific place to do this at? How does that work for them? Did you get any insight on that?
Yeah, you know what was funny when we first went out there, man. We had to do some education first because they honestly initially didn't understand what was going on. They like, why everything closed? They say this is this and a virus. My stomach is a virus. I ain't had no food in 2 days. You know what I'm saying? And so it took some education, and then after the education, some people caught on, but then after about a week later, it really hit, and then it was we would see like 50 people using the stations. Now it's like 300 people trying to get themselves together, clean up. You see them with masks on. You see them just trying to take every precaution that they can possibly take. The shelters are packed on a regular basis, so a lot of folks out there on the streets are more susceptible because they got pre-existing health conditions. You know what I'm saying? So they really are panicking. My man Terrence had to take like 40 people to the hospital just the other day. So big ups to him. He's a superhero in the city, and I'm just glad to support him.
And what does it take for the upkeep of these stations?
Yeah, so essentially, you place them around the city, and then folks will use them, and then around every 4 or 5 days, the team comes back out, picks them up, sanitizes them, cleans them down, wipes them down, and refills them with clean water and more soap. And so there's soap in them regularly, water in them regularly. We just had somebody come and bring us 2 truckloads of water, so we can just roll around with a water tank and fill them up and keep folks safe and sanitized. What's funny, man, is like it was just such a small act of decency for some of these folks. Some folks is like, man, I ain't even been able to wash my hands without being looked at crazy, for going in Dunkin' Donuts or going in a store or
Mhm.
something like that. So it's just a
That's
small act of
sad.
decency for
Hey.
folks.
Yo, big shout out on that, man. And shout out to the charitable things you do. But let's talk about this music now. Like
Right.
you've always been a barbarian. And I say bar with a capital BAR, man. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what space you operate in, you get to it. This new record you got, Set Me Free. Yo, it's hot. It's hot.
Respect.
YK Osiris on the hook. And I also noticed the quiet level up too. You've been an independent artist for a long time, man. Different logos is on there now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Uh,
I think this shuttle about to go a little bit higher as if it couldn't
Hilarious.
happen already. So what made you decide to like go from like super indie to like break free and get with a major?
Man, I think for me it was just I've been doing it independently and I'm still independent at the same time. We just did a partnership with Columbia Records and man, it's just when you can do it on your terms, that's the way you want it done. When you can do it on your terms and everybody doesn't need it. You gotta assess your needs and see what you need. For me, the biggest pieces of that puzzle was a lot of the marketing support and then me having an independent label. I got 9 other artists underneath me, and man, I didn't want to take all the bandwidth away from them. So they dropping music, they dropping projects, and I can put that on Team Columbia to get my stuff done, so I don't have to take all my team out of commission to work on my music.
No doubt.
Now, with all these, obviously we're all practicing social distancing and trying to stay safe and healthy. And there's a lot of things going on Instagram Live, a lot of these DJ battles and producer battles and stuff like that. So if you had to go head to head with the artist, you have such an extensive catalog as well. Who's somebody that you think would be able to go head to head with you, but of course you would still crush them?
Of course I would. I see your slick controversial question in there, man. Slick controversial question. What's funny? I'm the type of person that I want to go. I just I think iron sharpens iron. You know what I mean? Thoroughbreds
Right.
want to run with thoroughbreds, so I want to run with the best of them. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in there with the Kendricks and the King Loses and the whoever got it. I want to be in the Childish Gambinos. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Fire.
want to be
Right.
in the same mix in the same conversation with them. Just for the sport of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna back down, and it's not about who's bigger or who has a bigger platform. It's just keeping your iron sharp and being around great people who do it.
That would be dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
And even even battles aside, I mean, like your collabs have been pretty solid too, man. Like nobody saw that situation with you and Zaytoven, popping off. Let the trap say amen, and that was a solid project within itself. If you know Zay, you know why a Zaytoven and Lecrae collabo makes sense. If you know
For sure.
Zaytoven, but
For
if
sure.
you was to do another collaboration project with one producer rocking the whole sound set the whole time, who would you go with?
Man, that's a good question. I probably you know what? I got a track on my album by 30 Rock, and 30 Rock did the box by Roddy Rich, and 30 Rock is just killing right now. You know what I'm saying? The track he
Hmm.
did